1 packet chessman cookies, 24 ounces lemon curd, 1 box lemon cake. Don't mix it! Shirts available on Etsy now! 1.5 sticks of butter sliced thin. Bake at 350 for 45 minutes. Add powdered sugar when cool. Better than
I'm going to show you how to make the best cucumber salad. You're going to start by thinly slicing 3 cucumbers. Then grab a big handful of fresh radishes and slice them thin too. And next, slice a purple onion. Just half. 3 tablespoons of dill and chives, ½ teaspoon of white wine vinegar, 1 tablespoon garlic paste, ½ cup of my favorite Duke's mayo, a dash of monk fruit sweetener, 1.5 teaspoons of pink salt, and ½ teaspoon of black pepper. Mix that together, pour this all over your salad, and I promise you this will be the best salad you've ever had.
If you've ever bought green enchilada sauce from a can, you should try this recipe because it's way better and super easy. So I start off by roasting 5 tomatillos, 6 jalapenos, 7 green chili, and 1 poblano pepper. Alternatively, you can just boil them, but I like them roasted. So then I put them in a bag because it's going to make them easier to peel. After about 20 minutes, you can start unpeeling them and then throw everything into a blender with some chicken broth. I throw about 2 cups. This is optional, but you can throw the cilantro in there if you don't like it, omit it. I put some salt and caldo de pollo in there. And then I put some oil in a hot pan. I get a mesh strainer and I just strain everything. That is also optional, but I do not like all those seeds in there, and that's how you make it.
Gonna show you how to make spicy tuna crispy rice. Take your rice and pat it down and put it in the freezer. Then cut up your tuna really fine. We have a lean tuna and a toro. This one's really fatty and good. Then to make your sauce, add some spicy mayo, some toasted sesame oil, and a bit of soy sauce. The majority will be the spicy mayo. And now mix that all up. We also added some scallions, so that's a great touch. And then take your rice out of the freezer, and you're gonna wanna cut cubes like that. That's how you're going to check if your oil's ready for frying, and then throw those rice in there and get that nice crisp. We made a lot because we were cooking for people, and that's just how you get the perfect topping. Look at that. And we added some toasted sesame seed on top.
Cooking street food on TikTok for 21 days. 1 piece of steak. Cutting diagonally, we're gonna cut the beef into really thin slices, like this. Add our beef, 3 tablespoons of Chinese cooking oil, 1.5 tablespoons of cornstarch. The secret to really tender beef, we're gonna do 1 teaspoon baking soda. We're gonna do 1 egg white. Now mix together, and we're gonna set aside for 20 minutes. Cut the onion into 1.5 inch pieces, of 8 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce, 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of sugar. Add in some black pepper, mix together. It's optional, but I'm also gonna be using some dried chili as well. I'm gonna be frying the beef today, but you can also pan fry it as well. Heat up to medium hot. The oil's hot, we're gonna add in our beef. Fry the beef on medium-high heat for 2 to 3 minutes or until it's brown. Once the beef is brown, we're just gonna remove. Heat up to medium-high. Drizzle in some oil. Add in our garlic, white parts of the green onion. Add in our dried chili. Heat together for 1 to 2 minutes or until fragrant. Drizzle the sauce. Mix together. We're gonna let this cook for 30 seconds. Add in your beef. Mix together. Your green onion. Saute together on high heat for 30 seconds. Now look.
My brother and sister-in-law are living in Israel right now. My brother sent me a picture of these stuffed onions he was making for dinner the other night. As soon as I saw them, I knew I needed to try them. So here I am making them. You boil onion, slit it, stuff it with already cooked rice. I add garlic to my rice, saute it with white wine and some stock. You really can't overcook these. My Israeli husband loved them.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys one to remember. Basmati rice, Persian Tadi. Give your rice a good rinse to wash some of that starch off, then put into a pot of boiling salt water for about 7 minutes. Strain your rice, give it a quick rinse, and it should have a little fluff at this point. And the star of the show, saffron, the most expensive spice in the world by weight. Just a pinch will do the trick. Give it a good grind in a pestle and mortar, then add it to a mason jar and fill it with boiling water. Such a beautiful color and one of the most fragrant smells you'll ever come across. We're adding a few tablespoons of this saffron water to some butter and olive oil at the bottom of a non-stick pan. First layer of rice goes in to form that nice crust. Second layer on top that lays nice and fluffy. And very important, using a towel like this to help prevent condensation from dripping back onto the rice. And if all goes smoothly, this is what we're working with. Beautiful golden crust, it smells amazing. To me, this is the best rice in the world.
Have you ever had a pumpkin pie crisp? It's like a pumpkin pie and an apple crisp got together and had a baby, and it's freaking delicious. You serve it warm with ice cream on top, and it is divine. So let's start with that pumpkin pie layer first. We have pumpkin, we have some sugar, we have some eggs, we have some pumpkin pie spice, but you could also use cinnamon in place of that. We've got some salt and some vanilla. And you're gonna whisk together until it's nice and smooth. And then we're gonna add our secret ingredient to making this extra decadent: heavy cream. It really takes it up to the next level. So then we're gonna whisk that together and we're gonna pour it into a prepared casserole dish or a pie pan or a cast iron skillet. Just make sure you've buttered it so it doesn't stick. And then we're gonna make our topping with flour and sugar, butter, and a little cinnamon. And you're gonna beat that with a beater or a hand mixer or a stand mixer, whatever, until you get those gorgeous crumbles. And we're gonna spread it on top and bake it. The top is nice and crisp and the bottom is soft pumpkin pie. It's absolutely insanely delicious. The full recipe.
Really need to try this 2-ingredient wrap. It's gluten-free and it's just eggs and spinach blended together. So you just pour it into a pan and then cook it. Then I've just decided to smear it with some pesto, cooked capsicum and spinach, added some red onion and tomatoes, then mushrooms, and then I seasoned it and garnished it with some avocado and different herbs, and that's it.
As a former Starbucks barista who used to eat this tomato mozzarella panini every single day for a year and a half, let me tell you, this homemade version is better and it's so much cheaper. This has now replaced my go-to comfort meal, which is typically a grilled cheese, and just made it a little bit fancier. So all you have to do is grab your sourdough bread and some slices of mozzarella and just break it apart like this so it melts a little bit more evenly throughout the bread, and then just pop it into your toaster oven for about 5 minutes. And if you don't have a toaster oven, go ahead and use a regular oven, do it on your stove top, or you can use an air fryer. Basically, you get perfectly melted cheese like this, and then you can pop on your sun-dried tomatoes like so. And then you want a pretty generous helping of the kale pesto. It's absolutely amazing, you guys. You have to try it if you haven't tried this from Trader Joe's. Then I just pop some jalapenos on top. And
today we're showing you how to make a key lime cheesecake. Starting with the base, you want to crush some digestive biscuits or graham crackers. Add in your butter and blend it. Pour the mixture into your cake dish and then spread it out evenly. Using the bottom of a glass container helps your base stay compact. Put it into the oven at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. In the meantime, put cream cheese, icing sugar, lime juice, gin and tonic, and some lime zest into a bowl. Add in your whipping cream and mix everything together. Now pour your cream mixture into your cake dish. Spread it out evenly and chill for 1 hour.
Hey friends, everybody should know how to make some Alfredo sauce. So screenshot these ingredients and here's how. Start off with some butter, then you're gonna grate in some garlic, add in your heavy cream and your seasonings. I'm using black pepper and chicken bouillon seasoning. Add in a ton of Parmesan and whisk until it gets thick. Then you wanna pour it out and you can save it for 5 days in the fridge or 5 months in the freezer.
It's lunchtime now, so we're gonna have this bomb mixed up Frito pie snack for lunch. What you're gonna need is some regular Fritos, some Flamin' Hot Fritos, some chili cheese Fritos, some cheese, gotta get this cheese, some ground beef, seasoning for the ground beef, and some sour cream. First, you brown your meat and drain the fat. Add your seasoning. And let it simmer. Add the Flamin' Hot Fritos. Add the plain Fritos. The chili cheese Fritos. Now your ground beef's all done. Sprinkle it all over. Make sure you get it everywhere, all over it. Then you take your cheese and sprinkle it all everywhere. More cheese. Now add your sour cream. You can make it extra hot with some jalapenos. Now you're ready to eat.
Keto taco soup, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube for awesome keto recipes. First, you want to ground 1 pound of ground beef. Then you're going to add taco seasoning to flavor that up, some salt, some black pepper, chop 1 head of cabbage, add in 1 8-ounce cream cheese, mix that in. Then you're going to add 2 cans of Rotel with the juice, mix that in as well. Once you have it all mixed in, you're going to add your 1 head of chopped cabbage, 1 thing of chicken broth. Then you're going to cover it and let that come to a simmer. Once you have it a simmer, add cilantro. You can add fresh, but I think they forgot my fresh cilantro at the store, but this will do. Then you're going to top it with shredded cheese.
It's that time of year for spaghetti squash, and it's never been this easy to make. All you gotta do is cut the top and the bottom off, cut it in half, then scoop out the insides. Drizzle with olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, maybe some garlic powder or garlic salt if you like. Then flip it over face down on a baking sheet, put it in the oven, 400 degrees, 40 minutes. It comes out incredibly well. Look at this, it just peels amazing with that fork. You're gonna love this stuff. You can use it with the kids.
If y'all ain't never heard of chocolate gravy, please keep watching this video. This is how we do breakfast at my mom's house. She went ahead and started making her biscuits. I love them. She put sour cream in them. They're literally the best biscuits I've ever had. Next, we're going to start on that chocolate gravy. We're going to mix the dry ingredients first. It takes about a cup of sugar, about a fourth cup of cocoa, and right under a half a cup of flour. Mix all them together, then we added a can of cream, and we filled that can back up with some water and put it back in there. You can also use milk, we just didn't have none. And keep on stirring it till it has the same consistency as regular gravy. We went ahead and fried us some bologna, and then we was going to make some gravy out of that, so we added some flour to it, browned it, and then we added a can of cream again and filled that back up with water. Kept on stirring it till it was good and done. There's the biscuits when they got done, and now it's time to eat. So we got our chocolate gravy, fried bologna, biscuits, and our gravy that we made from the fried bologna. I can't have the bologna, so here's my chocolate.
Hey friends, we are making some salmon burgers tonight, and these are the best salmon burgers I've ever made. And the key is to use fresh salmon and chop it up. Add some green onions, red and green bell peppers, and a ton of seasonings. I'll have the recipe card at the end so that you can screenshot with all the ingredients that I added. You want to form a patty and cook the burger for a couple of minutes on each side. And the best part about this whole thing is that the salmon burger comes out really juicy, and the sauce that I made to go on top of it makes it extra amazing. The ingredients for that are on my recipe card too, or you can find the full video on my YouTube channel. Put it all on some rolls and boom, there you go.
This is how you make the best chicken and dumplings. Take your biscuits. You're gonna roll your biscuits out. Don't use flaky. You can use anything but flaky. They look something like this, and just cut them into 1/2 inch pieces. Stick them in the fridge while we prepare everything else. 32 ounces of chicken stock, 1.5 cups of milk, 1 can of cream of chicken, 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. Mix it up until it's dissolved. Turn your burner on medium, about 6. 1/2 a stick of butter. When it melts, you can add the chicken. Added my chicken. It's about 8 chicken thighs, boneless, skinless. I just baked them at 350 for an hour with some chicken broth. It's about 1 pound of chicken, so just stir that in. We're gonna turn it to high, let it boil, and get our biscuits. Keep our biscuits in the fridge so they won't separate. Make sure you stir frequently so it doesn't stick to the bottom and burn. All right, she's boiling, so we're just gonna start dropping this little dough in. Boil and get our roux ready. Add your roux, a small can of pizza.
Let's talk about candy apples because I have thoughts. First off, it's a caramelized apple on a stick. That's a lot of commitment. Also, it must be very difficult to eat. So this is what I did instead. I took some pecans, which it's my house, that's how I pronounce it. Also some pumpkin seeds, and I cooked them in a little bit of coconut oil and added maple syrup and some red food coloring. And I cooked that for a few minutes, and you don't want so much maple syrup that it's soupy. You just want it to cover the nuts because as soon as you take it off the heat, it'll caramelize, and that's what's gonna make it stick to your apple. And these taste just like candy apples, but you're not balancing whole fruit on a stick. I could rant for days.
Do you need a super simple dinner? Well then let's make Instant Pot Mexican bowls. Get your Instant Pot, spray the bottom of it with Pam because it will burn if you don't. Pour in low sodium chicken broth, 1/2 cup. Get some skinless chicken breasts and cut them into chicken cubes. Add them to the Instant Pot. Sprinkle 1 packet of taco seasoning, packet of ranch seasoning, some cayenne, garlic powder, some kicking chicken if you're feeling spicy. Drain some corn and add it to the mixture. You can add black beans right here, but I don't like them, so I don't add them. Add about 3/4 of a can of salsa, cups of rice, and 1 cup of that same chicken broth. Make sure it's fully submerged. Pressure cook for 8 minutes. Make sure the valve is on sealing. Prep the toppings while you wait. These are the types of toppings we use, but get creative with it. Release the pressure once it's done. Fluff it.